Hey, family, Common Sense Investor coming at you again with yet another video. And from my comments, I'm getting a lot of comments concerning do a video on bracketing. Again, I've done one and I'll put it in the link down below. You can watch it too. Let's talk about bracketing. What is bracketing? Bracketing is taking your shares, the number of shares you have, and determining what price you're willing to accept for those shares. Now, some people are saying, I'm holding to 1,000,000. I'm holding to 100,000. I'm holding to 25,000. Whatever you decide to hold to. But what you're saying is, I'm holding all of my shares. And when it hits $1,000,000, I'll be rich. Like Al from Boston. And let me say something about Al from fucking Boston. Check this out, asshole. You claim to have 10,000 shares of AMC. When the call went out that you would possibly could help us in a shareholders meeting, I get messages talking about you want $4,000 to appear. Plus, we need to do a GoFundMe page for your travel expenses. Well, then you're not a fucking ape. Because when the war call comes to stand up and fight, you don't say, well, I need $4,000 if I'm going to get on the battlefield. Fuck you. We don't need your help. You, you are misleading retail investors by telling them to hold to $1,000,000 fucking dollars. When I don't know if it's just the fact that you're greedy, because you've got 10,000 shares. Hold on a second. Let me do the math. You claim to have 10,000 shares times $1,000,000. You could probably do it easier and faster. 1,800,000. So you want $10 billion. That's what you're wanting. That's what you're telling the people. You're holding 10,000 shares till $1,000,000 so that you can have 10 billion fucking dollars. Then you're stupid. You're stupid. You're greedy, and you're somebody that I'm not going to follow anymore because that's an impossible fucking task. And you're telling people to trying to sell people a dream to hold to $1,000,000. And the more people that hold to $1,000,000, your chances are better at 10 billion fucking dollars. Oh, that's life. Yeah, fucking right. That's life changing. But it's stupid. What if it only goes to 800,000, 600,000? Then you, along with all your other followers, are going to be bag holders. Whereas when I sold mine and ensured that I got my profits, my investments back, all right, and I got my money back in my pocket, and now I can let it go, the rest of my shares, to as high as I want it to fucking go. Now, let's say I believe this stock is going to rip first to 300, then to 800, 720 to 800. If you've watched my videos, you know why. I had the pattern drawn out and where this stock is going. And it's, according to the pattern, it's supposed to go to 720 and start over. Then it's going to work its way for another 6 months and it'll rip up to 7,000 or 8,000. And if the pattern continues, it's going to start over there and it'll go continue for another 6 months and then it'll be hit 70,000. I mean, I'm not making this shit up. The computer is fucking telling you what it's going to do. So, what is bracketing? Bracketing is what you are willing to accept the price of your shares for. For example, let's say I got 200 shares and my average price is $36, 35 and some change. So we're going to say 36. So I got 7,200 involved in this. All right. So if AMC hits 720, that's a pretty good number. 720, I think it's going to $720, and I got 7,200 invested. So when it hits $720, like I believe it will, and then it'll fall back down to 200. I have to look at my chart. But when it hits $720, I'm going to sell 10 shares. That gives me $7,200 to put in my pocket, minus taxes. But I still got 190 shares. And it's at 720. And if it jumps to 1,000, I could sell 10 shares of that and have 50 fucking $1,000, people. And I still got a, what? 10 shares to get even, 10 shares there. So I got 180 more shares to wait. If it hits 1,500, sell 5 shares. If it hits 2,000, sell 5 shares. If it hits 2,500, sell 10 shares. Sell 10 shares, 2,500. Times 10, I know the answer. I'm just doing it to be sure, because all you son bitches down in the comments holler about, oh, your math is fucked up. But anyway, it's 25,000. I can put 25,000 in my pocket. And by the time I get to the end of the shares that I own, I will be somewhere holding around somewhere like 10 shares left once it hits 100,000, if it hits 100,000. Now, 25,000 is my pretty much end goal. That's where I think, that's when if it hits $25,000, I'm done. I'm out of here. Taking, selling it, and gone. Going on the Sundial, going on the Shiba Inu. And I'll be watching a couple of YouTubers for their suggestions, especially Keen and Grace. But the point is, bracketing is going to ensure you, the first bracket, the first sale that you have should cover your initial investment. Now, however many shares that is, if you have 10 shares and it's at $36 a share, 10 shares times, I got to do it because of the people in the comments, you got $360 invested. So when AMC rips to 360, you can sell 1 share, put the money back in your pocket, have 9 more shares to ride, and you say, fuck it, I'm gonna let it ride to 1,000 now. If it hits 1,000, you can sell 5 shares. You still got 4. See? And if it goes up to 2,000, you sell 1 share. And if it goes up to 5,000, which I think it will, I think it's gonna go to 5,000 quick, then you sell 2 more shares. And so bracketing basically is establishing first how many shares you got, how much you got invested, what the price has to hit so that you can only sell a few shares. For, like I said, if it goes to 360 and you got 10 shares, you could sell 1 and get your money back. You still got 9. If you got 22 shares, same thing. So that's bracketing. So just write this down, and it'll give you a little roadmap. Number of your shares times, or excuse me, write down number of shares, write down how much you got invested, write down the price that it would take for you to put the money back in your pocket if you sold 3 shares. And then you got some shares to let it ride on up. But if you let it ride on up to 1 million and it don't hit a fucking million, or 100,000, if it gets to 9, you know what I'm trying to say. If it gets to $90,000 and begins to fall, and you were holding to 100,000, you're a bag holder. Get your money, get your initial investment back. This is solid investment learning. It's one of the first things you learn. Get your money back. But now here's one more thing about bracketing that I'm going to do in the next video, because this is already 10 minutes. I love y'all. You don't want to miss it. This is how you set up a bracketing system, but I'm going to tell you how to sell in the next video. I love y'all.